Hello, welcome to our online classes. Hope the first video is very useful for chemistry learners. In our first video, we provided some basics of coordination chemistry, some terminology and IUPAC nomenclature, some basics principle of coordination chemistry have been described and discussed in the first video. Then now we have to shift over to the second video. There is a color and magnetic properties of the coordination compounds. So the color and magnetic properties of coordination compounds are very, very important, because if you go to the chemistry laboratory, you can see many different salts like copper sulfate, potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, nickel sulfate, nickel chloride, many things are there. But they are differently colored. Why? For example, you see copper sulfate is blue in color, potassium dichromate is orange in color, potassium permanganate is deep violet in color, nickel sulfate is in green in color. So what's the reason for different colors of this compound? The main reason is the presence of the metal, that is a transition metal. So actually, what is the fact behind the color of the complex, and what are the magnetic properties of the coordination complex? That things we have to discuss in this second video. The first question is, why the most of the coordination compounds are colored? The color of the coordination compound is mainly due to the presence of central metal ion. They are mostly transition metals. The transition metals have multiple oxidation states which show multiple valency. For example, for iron, Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus, ferric and ferrous, And manganese, for manganese, you can get plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, up to plus 7. So the transition metals ions exhibiting more than one valency, there is more than one oxidation states. And the absorption of white light, VIBGYOR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So this is a white color, it's a white electromagnetic radiations. Actually, the metal absorbs the white light, that is a VIBGYOR, in a particular wavelength, in a particular region. That decides the color of the complex. But the color of the complex is not the same color or region of the absorbed radiation or color. You see, which color or which radiation is absorbed is not the color of that complex. Actually, the complementary color that will be observed, color of the complex, since the emitted radiation or region is complementary to the absorbed regions. So that is actually a very interesting things we have to notify the color of the complex. So now you see this slide, this artist wheel. This wheel comprises of actually the VIBGYOR colors, starting from orange, starting from this side, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet and red. So now you see the left hand side is there is absorbed color and right hand side is absorbed color. So which color is absorbed? The complementary color, there is an opposite color, is actually observed. For example, if orange radiation is absorbed by the transition metal, then the color of the complex will be blue, and vice versa. In the same way, if the green color is absorbed by the metal, then the color of the complex will be red. That is the opposite. If, for example, if the color of the complex is yellow in color, then the violet radiation is absorbed by the metal. So this is the artist wheel. This can easily explain why the color of the complex is different for different complexes. From this slide, we can see which color is absorbed and which color is observed. For example, you see violet. Violet is absorbed at the wavelength 400 nanometer. The observed color is green, yellow. In between green and yellow, it's a mixing of green and yellow, 5-6 nanometer. The lambda, that's wavelength. For example, the blue, the absorbed color is 450, then observed color is yellow. Then the blue-green is a 490 nanometer, and the observed color is red, 620 nanometer. So likewise, the red observed at 650 lambda, that is a nanometer, and the observed color is green, 520. So you see here in this VIBGYOR, violet, from violet to red, violet is a higher energy radiation. Red is a lower energy radiations. So the energy wise, violet to red, the energy is decreased. At the same time, wavelength is increased. That's why the violet has nanometer 400 nanometer wavelength, whereas red is having 650 nanometer wavelength. But energy is decreased, but the wavelength is increased. One of the most characteristic chemical properties of these elements is the occurrence of multiple oxide states. Already I told. Now you see these examples. The manganese 2, manganese 5, manganese 6, manganese 7. So all are manganese, but you see the different colors. The first one is light pink color, second one is green in color, third one is deep violet in color. The same way, vanadium 5, chromium 6, manganese 7. So here also you see some different colors. So the color of the complex is mainly due to the transition metals already I told, and it is not only the color the transition metals, and also the different oxidation states will also give you different colors for the same transition metal. This slide has varieties of the coordination complexes as well as some inorganic salts. You see the titanium oxide is white in color, sodium chromate is yellow in color, potassium ferricyanide is crimson red color, nickel 2 nitrate hexahydrate is green in color, zinc sulfate heptahydrate is white in color, copper 2 sulfate pentahydrate is blue in color, cobalt 2 chloride hexahydrate is pink in color, manganese 2 chloride tetrahydrate light pink in color, vanadium sulfate dihydrate light blue in color, scandium oxide is white in color. So because all these colors, different salts are showing the different colors, the main reason is the metal. So this metal, the absorption of metal at a particular wavelength or region, that will decide actually the color of the complex. The oxidation state influences the color of the transition metals or coordination complexes. You see, the first one is hexa-aqua vanadium 2 ion, and the second one is hexa-aqua vanadium 3 ion. Both are somewhat at same type of complex, but the only difference is in the oxidation state. The first one is oxidation state is 2, the second one is oxidation state 3, but it shows different colors. The first one is somewhat is a light violet in color, the second one is somewhat yellow in color. The same way, the another example, hexamine chromium 3 ion and pentamine chlorochromium 2 ion. So both has chromium as a central metal ion, but the first one has all 6 ligands are same. The second one, instead of one amine ligand, chloro ligand is substituted. So because of this substitution, what is the difference? You make the very visible difference between these two compounds. The first one is somewhat yellow in color, the second one is somewhat red in color. So if you replace one ligand and substitute by another ligand, that will give you a different color. So the color of the complex is mainly due to the central metal ion, and in other way, not only the central metal ion plays a main important role in the color of the complex, as well as oxidation state and also the ligand. So all are very important for the characteristic color of the coordination complexes. The second title of this is magnetic properties. Why do magnetic properties differ for different coordination complexes? That's also very important one in the coordination chemistry. The magnetic properties is due to the presence of unpaired electrons in the d orbital of central metal ion. What is meant by unpaired electron? You see, every orbital has maximum 2 electrons. If there are 2 electrons present in an orbital, both are having opposite spin. One is spinning in the clockwise direction, another electron will be spinning in the anti-clockwise direction. So when 2 electrons are present, the spin will be different, it is opposite. So this is known as the paired electrons. But if only one electron is present in one orbital, for example, you see the p orbital. There are 3 p orbitals, that are px, py, pz. Totally 3 orbitals. So maximum 6 electrons can be present in the p orbitals. But if all 6 electrons are present, then all are paired. But if only 5 electrons are present, then the third orbital will have only 1 electron. Now it is an unpaired electron. So if only 1 electron is present in an orbital, that electron is not an unpaired electron. So minimum one unpaired electron and more than one unpaired electron may be present in orbitals. That will decide the magnetic properties of the complex. So the magnetism or different types of magnetisms are there: diamagnetism, paramagnetism, ferromagnetism, ferrimagnetism. Many different magnetisms are there. First one is the diamagnetism. What is meant by diamagnetism? No unpaired electron is present. That is, if all the electrons are paired, then the complex is said to be diamagnetic complex. As all electrons are paired, there is no net magnetic moment. Actually, the magnetic the field is given by the unit magnetic moment. That means the magnetic field that is given by the unit magnetic moment. So it opposes, there is a if the diamagnetic, that is all electrons are paired, then there is no net magnetic moment. So it opposes or anti-parallel to the external magnetic field. If you apply the external magnetic field from outside to a complex, that the metal, actually that metal, if it is that metal having the paired electrons in its orbital, then what will happen? The external magnetic field will be opposed by these diamagnetic properties of this complex. So this complex will not get magnetized by the external magnetic field. The next one is paramagnetism. If one or more unpaired electrons are present, then the complex is said to be paramagnetic. It shows net magnetic moment. This complex align parallel or admit the external magnetic field. So this type of complex will get magnetized when an external magnetic field is applied. But this effect is temporary, since when external magnetic field is off, suddenly it will get demagnetized. So this is the magnetic moment value is very, very small for this paramagnetism. The next one is ferromagnetism. Some transition metals such as iron, cobalt, nickel can be magnetized permanently. They are ferromagnetic since the magnitude of the magnetic moments are very larger. In this slide, the following examples show the magnetic properties of two different nickel complexes. Square planar complex is diamagnetic, whereas tetrahedral complex is paramagnetic. Two different complexes I have given in this slide. Tetracyanonickelate 2 ion, the first one is square planar. The second one is tetrachloronickelate 2 ion tetrahedral. Both are nickel complex, but the ligand is different. Here the cyano ligands are present, here the chloro ligands are present. The first one is square planar, the second one is tetrahedral. Very interestingly, both are having the same coordination number and the same oxidation number, but the structure is different. First one is a square planar, second one is a tetrahedral. But you see, very interestingly, you see the first one is a diamagnetic, second one is a paramagnetic. The reason is because in this orbital all electrons are paired for the square planar complex, but in the tetrahedral complex there is two unpaired electrons are present, so it is a paramagnetic. So what is the reason for that? Why first one is diamagnetic, second one is a paramagnetic? First one is a completely paired electrons are present. The second, some unpaired electrons are present. What is the reason? The reason is because of the presence of the ligand. You know, the cyano ligand is a very stronger ligand. So the stronger ligand has a property to pair up the electrons. That means all electrons are paired in the cyano complex. There is because of this stronger cyano ligand present. But in the case of chloro complex, chloro ligand is a very weaker ligand. It has no capacity to pair up the electrons. That's why it will not do anything. So there is no pairing. This pairing is taking place because of the normal pairing of electrons according to the Hund's rule. So the second complex, tetrahedral complex, is going along with the Hund's rule. But the first complex, there is a square planar complex, is again the Hund's rule. So the same complex, there is no any external pairing by this ligand. But in the first complex, there is a pairing by the cyano ligand. So that's why the first one is completely paired electrons. Second one is some unpaired electrons, two unpaired electrons are present. So the first one is diamagnetic, second one is paramagnetic. So this is the actual explanation for this different magnetic properties of these two complexes. Thank you for watching. We will provide more chemistry online classes, especially for those appearing for NEET. It will also be useful for State Board and CBSE students for their public examinations. Please subscribe and give comments, and we are ready to clarify your doubts in next classes. Thank you.